Hello there, welcome back to Sabbatorum. This is going to be a bit of a lazy video for me. I really don't feel like spending a lot of time editing this week because I really just want to spend most of my time that I can enjoying Unus Annus. So I'm going to do a bit of a lazy video this week, but I will be producing content soon enough. Cold War is the next thing you'll see out of me over the course of this weekend. After Unus Annus is gone, I'm going to hit the ground running with Cold War because I really want to make Cold War content. Also, say hello to my cat. If you hear, I don't know if the purring is picking up on the mic, but I'm probably gonna clickbait this video with my cat because I don't know what else to do with the thumbnail for this video. Anyways, that's my cat. My cat is currently in my lap. Normally I would try and record when my cat is not in my room, but I just decided that I just want to get this recording done. I don't really care today. So I'm petting my cat while doing this video. So the point of this video is I pretty much just want to reflect on Unus Annus, and I want to reflect on Unus Sabbatorum, the video that I made this past week, because I hadn't really talked about it. I just kind of got the idea for it, and so I just made it, and it kind of put any other gaming content that I was originally planning to, like Hollow Park, just kind of on the back burner because I really wanted to do this random and weird idea that I got, and I'm glad I did because, I mean, it involved me writing the first song I've ever written, and I don't think that the song's amazing. There's a lot of flaws with it, but I'll talk about that later in this video. So right out the gate, the first thing I want to address in this video before I lose people's attention is I want to mention a couple things about Unus Annus. I just think it's been a great experience to be able to experience Unus Annus every single day, because it's just the amount of work that they've had to put in to put out a video every single day. I can't even put out a gaming video every single day, and the amount of work that goes into, like, especially some of the more high production stuff they did, I can't imagine, with just, as far as I understand, 8 people involved with, like, behind the scenes Unus Annus, including Mark and Ethan. It seems incredible that they could get so much of that done in just a year and doing a video every single day for a year. And it's just been incredible to see it. Like with many things, like TV shows or movie series, it's cool to watch the evolution of things as they, like, find their footing more, and as time goes on, they learn from experience and they begin to, like, harness their style, I guess. I don't know if harness is the right word. But I've really enjoyed seeing that with Unus Annus, because I've been there since the first video released. I couldn't watch the second video because it was age restricted, and I did turn 18 during the course of this channel, so I was able to go back and watch the age-restricted videos, but I wasn't able to watch some of them. But other than that, I watched every single video as time went along. I think I lost it a couple times and, like, went for a week without watching it, but I always ended up catching myself back up. I talked about this in Unus Sabbatorum, that I love Markiplier Makes videos. I love videos that he does with his friends as well, like Bob and Wade. I love a lot of videos like that. Anything involving just improv with friends. I've loved that kind of stuff, and that's pretty much what the entirety of Unus Annus is, besides the few scripted things that they have, which I think are also really good. It's just the two of them doing improv together, and they, as they said themselves, they have amazing behind the camera, like, chemistry, as far as what we can see behind the camera, because, I mean, none of us actually know them in person, but they have incredible on-camera chemistry. It's just been entertaining overall. It's been an entertaining year, and I wish both Mark and Ethan the best after Unus Annus. I'm really excited to see what Ethan makes. My camera's tilted also. I did not pay attention to the background of this video at all. Like, I lit up those things back there, and I did not care about the posters, apparently. I have it pretty much aimed down at my bed. You can even see the back of my chair in this. I just looked at this and kind of saw how little I paid attention to this frame. But I think it's just been a great experience to be able to be a part of Unus Annus. You know, it's sad to see it go, but that's what the point of it is. I feel like the same might be even true for Ethan and Mark and everyone who worked on Unus Annus. Like, the truth didn't really sink in, and it still won't sink in really until they hit the delete button. Because it's not gone until it's gone, and then when it's gone, there's no going back. And for those of you who haven't seen Unus Annus, if anyone watches this who hasn't, I highly suggest you go check it out, because there is still time until there isn't. And it's not time yet. You have a couple days left to enjoy Unus Annus. There's always still time until there isn't. So I think that's it for the Unus Annus portion of this video. I've pretty much been fumbling over my words a lot, but I just kind of wanted to say a couple things that it's been a great time, and enjoy it while you can, because I plan for this video to come out on Wednesday, which means you'll have 2 days. Less than that until the stream, undoubtedly. Well, I'll probably post this video. If I post the video at 3 p.m. here, then it'll be exactly 48 hours until the stream starts. So, from when you're seeing this, as I'm saying this to you, from whenever you're seeing this, you have less than 48 hours to enjoy Unus Annus before the stream starts. And then the stream starts, and I mean, if you're not there for the whole thing, that's something that I think is interesting about the stream, and it's very indicative of Unus Annus as a whole, and is the reason why I've always thought they'd end it on a stream. I said that in Unus Sabbatorum. I've always thought that they would end it on a stream, because it just seems very indicative of the fact that, like, you have to be there for every moment of the stream, because they're deleting it live on the stream. So if you're not there at the very beginning of the stream, then it's literally impossible for you to see the entire stream. You have to be there for every single second of the stream. You can't pause or rewind if you want to actually see the entire stream. Because once the stream is over, I mean, it ends, and they delete the channel, and it's done, and that's it. It's gone forever. And it is what it is. Life goes on, and as Ethan said, and as they said in God's fitness test, Unus Annus might be ending, but it's the beginning of the next year for all of us. Cat cameo. So now I'm going to move on to talk about Unus Sabbatorum a little bit. That video idea, I don't exactly know why it came across my mind. I had to film it all in one day because I had to make sure that the lighting was as exact as possible, which I failed at, by the way. If you watch the video, you'll clearly be able to tell. And the camera angle, which I think I did that well, the camera angle, where it was positioned, had to be exactly the same on every single take, because if it wasn't, then I wouldn't be able to cut the scenes correctly together, and you would be able to see a clear, oh, these two things didn't match up, and so it wouldn't look as realistic. It didn't matter too much because the lighting was off, because it took me so long to record it, because it was a lot more difficult to record than I had originally realized it would be, and so it took a lot longer to record it than I thought it would. And so by the time I filmed me in the white shirt, the white Camp Unus Annus shirt, it was already getting dark outside, and that had a huge implement on the lighting. And also, something I didn't think about is the auto adjusting of my webcam made it to where if I was standing on one side of the room for the black Camp Unus Annus shirt scenes, then the lighting would be a certain color due to auto adjustments, and if I was over here, and also probably because I was wearing a white shirt, the different colors that I was wearing possibly, and also where I was standing based on where my lighting and equipment is, it changed the lighting, and I did not anticipate that, and it really made it difficult. I tried my best in post to fix the color editing to the point where it wouldn't change my skin tone too much, but where I could get that line that wasn't even down the middle of the screen, that was to the right, because I messed up with my acting of the black shirt part, overstepped his bounds sometimes, but I didn't want to make it obvious that his hand would disappear into non-existence because of the way I cropped the footage. So I wanted to give him the room he needed, and the white shirt me was very condensed, so I felt like at times I had that ability to move. I felt like I had that ability to move the line over a lot closer to the white shirt guy, and it would have been fine. I think that would have been perfectly fine if it wouldn't have been so visible because of the color discrepancies. Then no one would have noticed, but it's obviously very clearly to the right side of the screen. I can tell that that's a problem. Like I said, I did best I could in post without massively changing my skin tone or the color of the shirt. I tried to get the two different images to have the same coloration, and some parts it works really well. Sometimes the line almost disappears. There are still some spots along where one of the lights is reflecting off the back of the wall, and you can tell without seeing the line kind of shows through, and then it just kind of disappears later on. And there were some parts where I was almost on point with the color changing, and then there were some parts that I just couldn't get, and to be perfectly honest, that editing was just so grueling and so difficult to do that with certain parts of it, I was just I don't care enough to try and do this. And I was also under a time crunch at the time when I was trying to fix it, because I wanted to get the video up exactly 7 days from Unus Annus's deletion. So I had to make sure that I got that done in time to be uploaded and everything like that, which can sometimes take a few hours for me to upload a video, so I had to work under that time crunch. And so it was a bit difficult to do that, and it was just such a grueling editing to try and match the colors, and so sometimes I tried, but I didn't try and make it really good, because I just didn't have the time, and it was so difficult to do. Overall though, the whole point of Unus Sabbatorum, I wanted to have this juxtaposition between the white shirt me being this being representing of more the Unus Annus side of things and the clock that always keeps ticking regardless of whether you care about it or not. And the other side was me as a person, like, growing. It was me talking about how I've grown as a person in the past year and like the changes that I've gone through. It was kind of representing that. I don't think I directly said any changes in that first section of the video, the like sketch part, but it was supposed to represent that. And as the video went on, the black shirt me got like more, he became not necessarily more like the white shirt me, but he just became, the black shirt character of me became more cognizant of time as time went on, and I became a much more productive person. Because that's what Unus Annus has done for me. That constant reminder that time is always ticking has pushed me to become a better person, and that was kind of the whole point of that sketch. And it was also not just for that, but to just kind of reminisce for me about my own like life over the course of the past few months, and about Unus Annus over its past year, and about the juxtaposition between me finally kickstarting all the stuff that I want to do, and Unus Annus is now coming to an end, so it's like a beginning and an end happening at the same time for me. And it was just about that juxtaposition in my life. It was just a random piece of art that I wanted to make, I guess, if you can call that art. Then the second section of the video was the much shorter section, and it was pretty much just to Unus Annus. Hey, this is what I've learned. This is what Unus Annus directly has helped me do. It doesn't necessarily mean like Unus Annus taught me all those things, but it's over the duration of the past year. With the aid of Unus Annus, I've discovered things about myself. I've learned things. It's just a lot of stuff like that. They've been a guide, a very good guide, throughout this past year. And not even in the sense that they're giving advice, just that constant reminder that, hey, you need to like be pushing yourself because time is running out, always. And that's pretty much what the entire second section was about. That and a big thank you to them. That's what the entire second section that I wanted. I almost didn't do it because of the time crunch that I was on. I became very close to just giving up on doing that. I had to rush to get that second half done. Originally, I think I was planning to put more Unus Annus images in there. You can probably tell that I picked those because I was also trying to get my house ready to have company over the next day because I was having people over to just enjoy Unus Annus with. And so I was trying to do that at the same time while trying to edit this video, and it was just very hectic. So while I was doing that, I was trying to scroll through my phone and like pick the images that I wanted, because I have like certain images from Unus Annus on my phone, and I was trying to pick the images that I wanted to put in this video, and it was very hard to tell what some of them were when trying to go through it so fast. But I just pretty much picked ones from, I could tell like, oh, this is from this video, I guess I want this image in there, and then I just kind of threw it all in there, and then I came back into my room and started just putting all the images in there and ended it on the one of Mark crying. And I mean I put them in order of like the videos as they came out, and at the time that was one of the most recent images of like from videos was him crying. And if you're wondering why I have those images on my phone, don't worry, it'll make sense in a future project. It is for a future project. It's the reason why I've been collecting images. It just came in very much so handy for this, because I had images of Unus Annus on shorthand. That second part of the video is like one of my favorite parts of the video. It might be biased because I just don't like watching my own face, and that's a problem that I have been overcoming making YouTube videos in general. Like, I feel like a lot of people would have that problem. It's just, I mean, a lot of people just don't like to see their own face or hear their own voice, but that's just been something I've been overcoming for that. And so that's part of the reason. And I think the first part of the video is also just kind of cringy. Like, oh yeah, there was a point in the beginning where I completely forgot to put this in the video, where my character was like, oh yeah, there was this video posted that Ethan posted called We're Not Eating Peanut Butter, which, first of all, when I said that was the wrong name. It's called We're Not Eating Peanuts, which I discovered later on and said it correctly when I was in the white shirt, but not in the black shirt, so that was confusing. But I was planning with kind of like making a joke of myself and fixing that in editing, but I didn't, and I completely forgot, because I had planned to point up and like show the thumbnail and like showed like the name below that of the video, and I just completely forgot. I blanked on that entirely, and I posted the video. I reviewed the video and everything. Like, I watched it and didn't catch it somehow, and then posted the video. And I mean, I'm not gonna take it down. That flaw, very obvious flaw, is in there, and it is what it is. Besides that, I think that Unus Sabbatorum was just, that first part of it was pretty cringy. I admit that. I'm still proud of it. I think it was a cool idea, and I spent a lot of time editing that, and I'd spent a lot of time trying to make that work, but I still think it was cringy. it didn't work out quite the way I planned, but then other things worked out kind of a little bit better than I had planned. The second section I like a lot better because it worked out a lot more like I thought it would. So the music. First of all, I know that the quality in some parts is questionable because I recorded it using my Blue Yeti microphone on an acoustic guitar because I don't really have any other way to record music. I don't have any music software, so the entire thing was done in my raw editing software where I just took audio bites that I recorded from my guitar and turned it into that song. I had kind of written the song before because I have a guitar class in school, and I had kind of just messed around on my guitar, and I was like, okay, this is a cool idea for a song. I didn't know what I was going to do with it yet, and then as I got this idea, I was like, I want to use this for the backing track, and so I kind of built it off of that. And some of the stuff, I just got ideas while I was in mid-editing. I was like, oh, this would be cool, so I picked up my guitar and recorded something. And it's overly simplistic. The entire song is overly simplistic, and I pretty much kept it that way because of time, because it took long enough as it was. It took me, I think, 6 or 7 hours to edit that song together. Being the first song I've ever edited, I learned a lot while doing that, but it just, that's probably had something to contribute to it, but it took me like 6 or 7 hours to edit that song together because it was just difficult to get all the sound bites that I needed the way that I wanted them, and to try and get them all like at the right tempo and stuff like that. It was difficult, and I'm not proficient enough at guitar to just play the thing straight with a metronome in my ear and have it perfect. The takes that I did, some of them were bad. Sometimes like the note that I played was buzzy, and sometimes that's what I was left with in editing, and I tried to edit out as much of that stuff as I could, but it didn't. The overall thing, the sound quality definitely didn't sound good, and the end product I think was a little bit overly too simplistic for what I would want from a song like that, even as a backing track. So I'm probably going to remaster that song at some point, just because I do like that song. I think it's a good background song. I don't think it's something that people would listen to on a regular basis, but I think as a backing track, it's a pretty good song. It just needs to be refined. I think maybe some things changed around, add some more stuff to it, make it overall a better song. But in the time crunch that I have had though, and with the limitations that I had, I'm very proud of that actually. And that's pretty much the entirety of the first section. It's that, and I did want to mention that it's kind of like the best thing I can say, I don't know if I can get this on camera, it's like a build of dissonance throughout the song, and then it just kind of collapses back down, and it starts out like non-dissonant. Whenever that high note comes in, I thought of that later on, and it added an extra layer of dissonance to it because I was playing a G flat instead of a G, even though like the main like part of it was just me playing like a G and a D, I think, a D to a G, and then the bass note was a G, or the bass note, sorry, the bass note was an E to a G. It was like that back and forth, and so it was like a dissonant that was there, but it's weird. I liked the effect that the song had because it's like as the song went on, your ear got used to the dissonance, and so it's like it didn't mind it that much anymore. And because it was so repetitive, the dissonance happened throughout so much through the song, and then as you can clearly tell as the song goes on, I added in more dissonance, which as that happens, the audio quality gets more questionable, but I added in more dissonance as the song went on, and then right there at the end, I finally went up to a G as opposed to the G flat or F sharp, whatever you want to call it. I finally went up to that G for that high note, and it really makes that one part of the song. The rest of it, like, audio quality is questionable, the general melody is repetitive and stuff like that, but that one moment, and it happens at a pretty good spot in the video too for Unus Sabbatorum, right when like I'm saying Unus Annus is at its end. That one moment in the video where I finally hit that G, it really sounds very beautiful, and I think a remastered version of that song where the entire song sounds better and the lead up is better, and I think where that transition is also better. I'm not very good at speaking right now. I think that would make the song like a lot better. I think it would sound really good because that's one of the moments in the song that I really enjoyed. I'm wrapping this up. I'm almost done. I do want to talk about the second half of the song though, because whenever I switched into that second section, I wrote a different song entirely. I didn't actually write that. I should take that back. I didn't write that. I wrote the chord structure, but the chord structure already existed. You know, when the original person wrote that song, I don't even know who wrote it, but it's the let's get cooking, let's get whatever, you know, insert something after that they've said. It's that song from Unus Annus, and it was reminiscent of that. I just wanted to have that melody. So first I learned how to play the melody on the guitar. I learned how to play the melody on the guitar, and then I made a chord structure to go behind that just fit in with the gaps. I didn't know what the chord structure was, but I made it fit in with like what the notes were. It wasn't too hard for me to figure out. And then from there, I pieced together how I wanted the chord structure to change whenever the melody jumped in, and like become more sad every single time I changed a chord, and it became more and more sad. Not during the repetitive part where it was just the chord structure over and over and over again. I know that wasn't great. I just did it to pad out time while I was talking, because I didn't actually have the time to write song to fill in that gap. So I just did the chord structure, and then when the melody comes in, I started changing notes in the chord structure like every single time. First I changed the E to an E minor, and then the second time around I think I kept the E as an E minor. I never changed anything back. And then I think what did I do? I think I went from a C to a C sus2, if that's what it's called. I don't remember if I know the chord names correctly. And then I went to an A minor after that, so I changed the A to an A minor. And then the next one, I think I changed the C to a C add 9, and then no, that wasn't the last one. I don't remember what I did with it at this point, but because I really like, I don't know. It was incremental changes that like made it like kind of more sad. And then I love that final chord, that C add 9 that I did at the very end, because it's like a bittersweet chord, and that's exactly what the end of Unus Annus is. It's bittersweet. And then with the talking over that I did, I think that part fit really well together. I just wish I would have had, I guess, a little more time, but that doesn't happen. Things are the way they are. But I wish I would have had a little more time to make that chord structure something else. That repetitive chord structure that literally repeats 7 times before the melody jumps in. Once the melody jumps in, I think it's amazing. Like, I love that part. I think the chord structure doesn't fit perfectly at times because I didn't do the perfect job of editing that. I was rushing like crazy. But I think that it does a pretty good job, and it captures the emotion, I think, of Unus Annus using their own melody from the like Let's Get Cooking melody. I just made that a lot. I slowed it down, and with the chord structure behind it, I made it a lot sadder. And then with me talking over it, which is what it is. I don't know. I think it was a really bittersweet thing, and I think that's kind of the whole point of Unus Annus. Like, obviously it's sad that it's going away, but it's bittersweet because it's been an amazing thing this whole time. And then at the very end, I did that, like, the image faded into both black and white and faded into blackness. The image like of Mark crying while I played that final C add 9, and that was kind of like a, this is it fading away. It's gone. Like, the moment is gone. Unus Annus is gone, and that's, I guess, what that was kind of symbolic of, which is such a simple thing to do. I don't know why I even felt the need to talk about it. I've been recording for 32 minutes now. I have no clue how long this video is going to be. I don't really want to make it any longer because I'm going to have my hands full editing this tomorrow if I do. So that's the video. I just kind of wanted to have a chat about Unus Sabbatorum, the Unus Sabbatorum soundtrack, and Unus Annus. And if anyone stuck through the video this long, I'll remind you one more time. You have less than 48 hours to watch Unus Annus before it goes away. I highly suggest that you give it a watch before it disappears. And yeah, that's a wrap.